Hey everyone, this is P4L, and in today's P4L review we'll be taking a look at the second figure from FansProject Saurus Ryu-Oh series of combiners, which is their Dinoking homage. And so Dinoni, ni standing for 2 in Japanese, is their second figure of this series. He will make up one of the arms for Dinoking or Ryu-Oh. Just starting off with packaging review as always, a very small, pretty compact package. He has some nice photos and artwork on the front, and I believe this says Dinoni. On the top here, some robot mode pics. Robot mode pics again on this side, same photos and artwork. This is his alt mode or monster mode, which is kind of a bird, pterodactyl. I don't know what it is, some kind of monstrous mode. On the bottom we get more of that, same image, and then on the back is where we get more product images. So we see all the images that we've seen so far, but we also get a highlighted image of him in arm mode in the combined form of Ryu-Oh. Alright. As before, he does actually have a window box, so you can just undo this flap, which is held into place with some Velcro. Get to see some line art, some more of the images, and then you can see Dinoni in robot mode with his little gun there. He doesn't come with anything else, the combiner parts we saw before with Dino Ichi. So let's go ahead and get this guy open and continue with the review. Out of the box, you do get another internal box with a clamshell here. On the inside of the box is some more line art, which is probably going to be hard to see the way my lights are set up, as well as Dinoni in there. Get that out of the way. One thing I will note is he does come with his instructions. They're pretty big, but they don't fit in the small box. So what they did is rolled it up, and I really don't like that because now look how awful this looks. And you gotta straighten it out. And as with Dino Ichi, it has a center page which isn't held into place. So like using these instructions it's kind of a pain in the butt because it's all folded up and all rolled up. And yeah, so you do get to see transformation from robot to monster and monster to combiner mode, but unless you are into reading scrolls, you can just go ahead and rely on this video. As far as robot mode goes, he's a very svelte, tiny, kind of wee-ish size for a figure that more than we're used to. I mean, it definitely is more of a classic style figure, but he looks really nice. I like the color combination that they have with this, with the blue and the slate gray blue and the darker blue, as well as some of the highlights with the red and the yellow. Really makes this figure pop. I think he's just visually really interesting, and he has a good amount of molded detail, which make him look pretty cool. He is very small, and he makes use of a lot of ball joints. And in that respect, he reminds me a lot of a Combiner Wars Deluxe figure. And you can see, as far as height goes, they're pretty much spot on. A lot of the same similar joints, but this guy also adds some ratchets where it makes sense. As far as articulation goes, let's do that before. Well, let's look at the head sculpt first. So head sculpt wise, he does have a nice yellow face and some red eyes. Actually, he also has some outlined black for his eyes. He does have a ball jointed head. Not a ton going down, but ball joints usually suffer from not being able to go down all that much. As far as the rest of his articulation goes, he does have a ball jointed shoulder, so he can go all the way around, but he also has a swivel joint that allows him to go swing out at the shoulder as well. It looks like it's supposed to be ratcheted, but it's not. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and he has a ball jointed wrist. It's hollow on the inside here, which is a bit unfortunate. It would have been nice to have that kind of filled up. He does have a swivel at the waist. You can go all the way around. Ball jointed hips. He can't go all the way kind of split mode, which is kind of weird. You would kind of expect it to. I think you might be able to do it, but I feel like it's going to pop off the ball joint if I do that. He does have a thigh swivel. and a knee bend. It's kind of restricted because of this piece here. It's kind of, I guess, knee caps that swivel up and down, and then his feet are on a ball joint on the front, so you can get some forward back, some tilt going on, and he has a separate heel, which really is for transformation, but I guess you can make use of that. The best part about him is probably his wings. So you can hear them nicely ratcheted here, but they also have a swivel, and then another joint here, a flap here that folds flat. It doesn't fold flat the other way, but it does fold flat this way. Has a little port here, which has a little indentation for you to be able to fold that in flat. So yeah, overall, really fun little figure. As far as robot mode goes, easily the best mode of the three that we're gonna have a look at today. So we're gonna go from robot mode to monster or alt mode, and then go into combine mode. So one real quick look at his single accessory that we have here is his gray molded gun. Pretty standard, pretty plain. It probably combines with the other characters' guns to form a larger gun, and he holds that quite nicely. Pew 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 pew! Alright, so let's go ahead and get into transformation now that we've taken a look at this guy. So the first thing we'll do is, I don't know why, but they tell you to rotate the head in first, and then rotate both heads together. I find it just as easy just to rotate that head up. Then we'll go ahead and get the ball joints on the wrist tucked in like so. You have this little port here which is going to go into shoulder. Make use of those double jointed elbows to get those kind of positioned. And then these posts are going to go into the side of his chest. Like thusly. No. Yeah, thusly. For his legs, they do transform in a way that is not as intuitive as I thought. We're going to go ahead and flip up on that ball joint, and there's a little slot and a kind of a tab there that loosely holds it in place. We're going to keep these knee joints out for some odd reason, I don't know why, but coming around to the back, you can fold up the dino toes. And we're going to untab here, and rotate this all the way around, and this is going to tab in to the side of the leg. Same thing on the other side, like that. Alright. And then here, this is where it comes in a little bit different than I was expecting. You're going to rotate at the thigh, and then swing this all the way in to collapse on itself. And then there's actually a small tab here. It's almost like a negative tab, kind of a U-shaped slot that's going to go into where his crotch, bottom of his crotch is, on both sides. So the legs don't peg in with each other, they peg into the hips. And then we can get these legs positioned however we want, honestly. And with that, we are in alt mode. This tiny little weird bird mode. And honestly, this looks kind of awful. It looks pretty stupid, to be perfectly honest. He has a really thick butt, lower leg area. It's really flat, and really this is supposed to be just his legs, so this is just all supposed to be part of his main body. And it just looks kind of goofy. He does have some waist articulation there, which I guess he technically had in robot mode. I don't know why I didn't show that off. And he still suffers from this really big combiner port that just sticks out on his back. So from the back, he looks pretty awful, honestly. He does still have the nice use of the wings. His head can almost go pretty much straight. He does have a little beak that can open. Caw-caw! And then his shoulders remind me of the MMC Talon transformation. Is basically the same deal there. And really that's it. And I don't know why for official transformation they keep this out here. What is this supposed to be? I think it looks cleaner just folding this up. I don't know what good it really does to fold that up because it still suffers from a lot of the same problems, but easily the weakest of the three modes. I guess you can maybe make use of this gun somewhere. Yeah, maybe not. I thought maybe you could be able to throw it in one of these ports, but it looks like that is not the case. So it doesn't look like you really have any gun storage in alt mode. So let's go ahead and get this guy transformed into combined mode. So combined mode, we'll deal with it with the lower body first. So let's go ahead and untab that crotch piece. Oops, came off the ball joint. That's my bad. Was being too aggressive there. We're gonna rotate this around and then collapse it like you normally kind of would think it would go, like this. And then the two halves will tab together. If you didn't rotate these kneecap things up, you can do that now. And then we're gonna basically go back into robot mode for these legs. They're gonna untab from the side of the legs, rotate all the way around, tab into place there. And with these, what do we do with these? Oh, so yeah, there's this kind of rectangular area goes into the bottom of the foot there. Both. For the you also extend the midsection, so just pull up on that. It comes up a little bit. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough to make his arm less stubby. We're gonna bring his heads down, and you don't want to tab it in all the way. I found it just bring it down a bit. Unpeg the shoulders from the chest. Rotate them up like this. At the bicep joint, we're gonna swing those around 180 degrees. Bend at the elbows, and making use of these pegs, we're gonna go into the side of the head, these really big holes on the side of his head, which at first I was like, why does that even exist? But clearly they had this in mind. They look really thin, but because of the FansProject's quality, I have no concerns about it breaking. And then from here, these small holes on the side of the wings, they'll actually make use of these pegs here. And that's basically it. And that's his arm form. Let's go ahead and bring out the fist that came with Dinoni, and he makes up the right arm, I believe. Making use of these double C clips, you're gonna plug that in right here. And with that, we have him in his limb mode. I think this is correct, or actually, it might be that way. I'm trying to remember which way. I think it makes more sense to go this way since you get more of an elbow bend, but I could be wrong, to be perfectly frank. Let's check the box really quick to see if this is his correct arm form. Yep, the box doesn't lie. So having these kneecap pieces forward is the correct orientation for his arm. And again, he has a wrist swivel, he has a ratcheted elbow, he has a elbow swivel, I guess, or yeah, and then he has the ratcheted shoulder joint. Yeah, that's basically it for transformations going this way. Let's go ahead and go back into monster and then finish on robot mode. Unpeg this. Get the wings out the way. Get the arms unpegged out of the head. Come on. Straighten those out. Get those arms facing the correct way. Rotate them down. And then we're going to fold them up this way. Again, making use of these small pegs and ports here. And the ones on the side, to go into the side of the chest. Swing up the alt mode head. Lower body, we're going to collapse the waist. The two halves of the legs we can go ahead and untab. Coming around to the back, flip these open. Oh, I keep popping these ball joints out. They are actually really secure. I'm just manhandling it right now, so don't be too concerned about that. Getting these rotated and tabbed into place. And there I go again saying rotate. As the only verb I know apparently when it comes to transformation. Let's see, was it this way? Yeah, and then get the waist flipped around. And having these tabs go into his crotch area. It's a little bird feet out. And there we go again. Let's just fold this back to be a little bit less sticking out. This also kind of reminds me of the Unique Toys Hagen. Was it Unique Toys or DX9? I always get them mixed up. Their Hagen, their combiner bird. I forget what his real name is. So yeah, there he is in his monster mode. And I'm finishing off with Alt 2 robot mode. Let's go ahead and start with the legs again. Get them untabbed from the crotch. Come on. There we go. See, I didn't pop up the joint this time. Get the legs all the way extended. Let's get around to the front like that. This we're gonna untab, swing around like thus. This is going to tab in here. This is going to flip all the way around, and it actually is molded into place where it sits very nicely. Why do I keep popping these joints off? I promise they're not that fragile. I'm just probably in a rush and not being as careful as I normally would be. Get the heels flipped out. Get the feet down. So there's the lower body. The upper body's pretty easy. Unpeg these. Getting the fists out can be a bit of a challenge just because there's no tab or anything like that. And then flip down the alt mode head, and there's a little tab and slot there. And there we go. Here we have Dinoni back in his robot mode. And just to finish off, let's go ahead and show him off with Dinoichi, the first member. And I know at this point already San is out. He's been out for quite a while. I was not lent that figure from Killinger Customs, who is basically allowing me to review these figures. Thanks again, Killinger Customs. Just a quick shout out. Letting everyone know that in 2016, Killinger Customs and his group, the Guild of Concoctionist Intent, will be going full ABS injection molding for their garage kits, which have always been nice. I've done a bunch of reviews of their stuff before. So final thoughts on Dinoni. I think he's a really kind of fun figure, very simplistic, but unless you're a very die-hard fan of Monstructor or Dinoking, I don't know if you need this guy in your collection, but he is a fun little figure. Alright? If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down, but just let me know why I deserve that thumbs down. I'm sure there's a plethora of reasons why. If you want to keep up to date with my news and reviews, go ahead and click the P4L logo here to subscribe, or follow me on Facebook at Pig for Life Reviews. And if you want to add any of these guys to your collection, you can go ahead and click on the link in the description below, and it will take you to my sponsor, Toy Dojo. Alright? That's all for today, everyone, and happy holidays.